Oh, Daniel. Oh, what that dang. This is the voice of the patriot, and here we speak truth to power. Here we don't criticize, but if we must, we would only do that on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. This is in the service of God and country. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. Today, my brother, my sister, we have a number of issues we need to look at, and I need you to come along. My brother, my sister, from the newsreel, we endeavor to always keep it real. Come along. Now, the very first story I want to look at today, my brother, my sister, is taken from Ghana Web. And I need you to come along. Interesting things are happening in our country. I need you to come along. Now, the very first story is taken from Ghana Web, and it says, Akufo-Addo's Ghana Beyond Aid was just a slogan. And this is a man called Asa Asante talking. Political analyst Dr. Asa Asante has criticized former President Nana Akufo-Addo's leadership, questioning the effectiveness of his Ghana Beyond Aid agenda and his handling of economic challenges. He argued that many of the ex-president's promises lacked proper implementation, contributing to public discontent and his government's declining popularity. In an interview, Dr. Asante delivered a critical assessment of the former president's leadership, particularly regarding his vision for economic independence. And he was speaking with Nadede Tete on Star FM. Now, he referenced Akufo-Addo's recent remarks about African countries collaborating instead of relying on aid, a position he championed whilst in office. However, Dr. Asante questioned his sincerity and effectiveness regarding this agenda, arguing that it lacked tangible action. It's a statement which is very interesting, but one would have thought that the president's charity begins at home. He said he started the process, but it didn't end anywhere. The government itself did not put in the effort to sustain or implement it. It was just a mere statement with no conscious effort to make it a reality. Now, I like what Dr. Asa Asante is saying, and we have reiterated this time and again. My brother, sometimes I wonder what is wrong with some African leaders. When Nana Akufo-Addo came in, he told us Ghana was beyond aid. And by extension, he said Africa was actually beyond aid. We love that. We applaud it. Because we as Pan-Africanists, we cannot wait for the day we would give America aid. We can't wait for the day Africa would give aid to England. I'm fed up receiving crumbs from off the table of America. I'm tired of receiving crumbs from off the table of England and the West in general. Africa is more than just rich. I do not understand why we continue to go knees aground, hands begging for whatever we must eat and drink. What happened to the know-how of Africa from ancient times all the way through the shadows of Egypt to the hieroglyphics of Egypt? My brother, my sister, and to all the wonderful inventions of black people right there in Africa and beyond. What happened to all our wits and all our know-how? I cannot fathom why up till now we can't put all that into use. Have we all fizzled into thin air in terms of our creativity? My brother, my sister, Africa Beyond Aid, I was waiting for action. 8 years down the line, the Africa Beyond Aid was nothing but a slogan. What kind of a president was this? Most of the time he was wearing suit, yet he was encouraging African governments and African countries to trade amongst each other. Yet his suits and shoes were all coming from Italy, America, and England. My brother, my sister, I would like to see a president lead by example. If a leader does not lead by example, you can imagine the led. Should I take it again? If a leader does not lead by example, you can imagine what the led or the people that he leads would behave like. You want Africans to trade amongst each other, yet your suits and shoes in almost every public appearance are coming from Italy, from America, from England, and you even boast that you are wearing rich. Everything in your country is imported from the West. No matter how much quality an African product is, we have a way of relegating it to the background such that we might not patronize it. This is a sickness no doctor can cure. My brother, my sister, Nana Akufo-Addo told us about Africa Beyond Aid, Ghana Beyond Aid. We all applauded, I said, but what became of it? He ended up running and begging the IMF and the World Bank to come to our useless aid because we are people who do not know how to manage. The finance minister gave us a certain legacy that no Ghanaian is proud of, the DDEP. Unprofessional haircuts that they gave to our poor pensioners. A lot of them died. Some are battling diseases that emanated from the DDEP. Others have become vegetables. Only posterity would judge us. What a people. After working so hard to make this economy grow and to benefit the whole nation, all they get as a diadem, all they get as a badge of honor is a DDEP haircut. Some of them, they will receive their monies 25 years later, and they are 90 and 95 years old. 25 to 95, what do you get? 120. My brother, my sister, how old did Moses even live for? It is sad the way we treat our pensioners, the way we treat the people who pioneered our nation. It is so sad. To Dr. Asante-Asa, he has said nothing but the truth. Nana Akufo-Addo disappointed us, and I'm looking forward to a better Mahama government. Since Mahama was sworn in as president, I haven't seen him wear a single suit. If you have seen him, let me know so I can talk about it. I haven't seen him wear a single suit in public. This is leadership by example. Your public appearance must be synonymous with the whims and caprices of the nation economically. You cannot be seen to be wearing rich and shiny and vibrant when your economy is wobbly. Again, your textile industry is nothing but wobbly. It is so sick. It is totally hemorrhaged. Then you are seen in public wearing clothing made in Israel, made in America, made in England. You must be daft. Sometimes we speak the hard truth, and many people cannot take it. My brother, my sister, but at the end of the day, Everybody will testify to the fact that we say it out of passion and love for our nation. My brother, my sister, I haven't seen Mahama wear a suit since he came into power. From the day he was inaugurated as president, we saw the flowery African wear made right here in Ghana, designed in Ghana, that he wore. From that time, it's been made in Ghana, made in Ghana. Mr. President, you need to continue with that. You are making a very strong political and economic statement. Like I vowed several years ago not to wear anything that comes outside Africa. It won't be difficult for anybody to do that. It is a way of supporting our textile industry, a way of supporting our artisans, a way of putting respect on the heads of our great creatives. My brother, my sister, anytime fashion is talked about, the Ghanaian is out of it. You see Nigerians, their presidents are all wearing Nigerian-made agbada. Mali is the same thing. Burkina Faso, we are seeing what is happening there. Yet we are Britain outside Britain. We are more English than the Englishman. We speak English better than Queen Elizabeth. We drink British tea early in the morning. My brother, my sister, it is a big sickness. Parliament should ban all suits in Parliament. Did I say it right? Parliament must stop wearing suits in Parliament. It is just common sense, my brother. My brother, this one is just common sense, common economic sense. No parliamentarian should wear a suit in Parliament. Even if it is a suit, it must be tailored right here in Ghana. My brother, they must all wear African print fabrics from our own fabric companies right here in Ghana. No drink should be imported into the Parliament House. You are making the laws. You must represent the people. Drink asana in the Parliament. Those who want to drink pito, they can drink pito after Parliament. My brother, my sister, nothing should come from outside. And our traditionalists must also stop feeding our gods with foreign and Western schnapps. If anything at all, give them water and pito and asana. How can your gods who gave you asana and pito not like to drink their own gifts that they gave to us, but they are drinking schnapps? You must have crazy gods. That is why our gods are shooting and killing people at chieftaincy gatherings and debates. It's crazy. It is crazy, my brother. Why should the president of Africa be dressed like the president of America? Why should the president of Africa be dressed like the president of America or the prime minister of Israel? They are two different geographical locations and we have two different cultures. But because we are daft, most of the time we play into the gallery. It's sad. Yet we are the same people who come out and complain that our fabric industry is not progressing. Every now and then, retrenchments all over the place, yet we are not supporting. Imagine President Mahama wearing only African print for all the 4 years that he's going to be here, wearing it to church, wearing it to the Parliament House, wearing it in public and everywhere. Do you know how many people would love to wear that? May I give you examples? In Kenya, they have a certain kind of suit they call, is it Ruto? No, it's called, what's the name? What's the name of that president? They named the suit after the president. They named it Kenneth Kaunda. Uganda, Kenya, all those countries, they have that kind of suit. And it's named after Kaunda. You know why? Because Kaunda was wearing that same suit. Nkrumah used to wear that suit too. But we were not quick enough to call the suit Nkrumah or Kwame Nkrumah, but they called it Kaunda. It's a trademark. There is a musician in the Ivory Coast. His name is Tiken Jah Fakoly. He comes on stage with a certain kind of African gown. Now that gown has become so popular with the youth in the Ivory Coast. You know how they call it? They call it Tiken Jah Fakoly. They named it after him. I went to America to teach, and the kind of African wear I was wearing, it was in winter. So I had a hoodie, but made of African fabrics. Look, before I left, a lot of the students were wearing the same thing, importing that from Africa. And we have pictures to show. Leadership by example is very important. Yet your president was busily wearing suits, flying planes, and bathing in the air with no respect to Pan-Africanism. Yet he's the first one to say Africa beyond aid. What a mockery. What a joke. Where is the common sense in that? In our country, every old man is inordinately sensible. But my brother, my sister, it's time now to bring the microscope and look into their brains and find out maybe some wires are disjointed and disconnected. I leave it here, my brethren. Now, I'm reading this from Ghana Web also. And it says, we would have gotten 30% if the election was held in August 2024. August 2024. But the election was held in December, right? All right. So let's look at it. And this is a man called Che Mensa Bonsu. I don't know him, but we'll find out who he is. Now, the former member of Parliament of Swami, or say Che Mensa Bonsu, so that's who he is, has indicated that the New Patriotic Party's electoral performance would have been significantly worse if the election had been held in August 2024 instead of December 2024. Now, the former lawmaker said the NPP and his presidential candidate would have secured a mere 30% of the votes if the elections had been held in August 2024. He described the party's performance in the December 7, 2024 election as a significant improvement. According to him, in an interview on Inshra FM on Tuesday, February 25, 2025, the party was aware that its chances of winning the 2024 general elections were low, attributing this to the loss of goodwill among citizens. He pointed to instances where people no longer approach their campaign trails and convoys with enthusiasm, a clear indicator that made them realize they were in a tough contest. The euphoria of people coming out to meet us during our campaign was no longer there. That was when we realized we were in a real battle. I saw the early signs of a tough contest, but we still believe things will turn in our favor. In fact, if the elections had been held in August instead of December, we would have secured only 30% of the votes. And I say this candidly. Also, Chairman Sabosu, a former majority leader in Parliament, further attributed the party's challenging moments to economic difficulties and downturns. I'll leave it here. Osei Chairman Sabonsu, in fact, truthfully, before the elections, told his own party, the NPP, to forget the elections if the NDC was able to secure 30% of the votes in Ashanti region. He said it. He said, if NDC is able to get 30% in the Ashanti, forget it. We are doomed. We are finished. You could see that he was politicking very carefully. He knew his party was about to die and enter an early grave, a deserving early grave. My brother, my sister, he said it. He was one of the few guys in the ruling NPP then who came up with nothing but the gospel truth, while the rest of them played the ostrich and tried to politic with almost everything, including the food we eat. But trust me, food, water, and shelter have no politics, right? Now the people came with the reality. The reality check was more than just glaring. My brother, my sister, all the campaign trails were deserted. The insults followed. Oh, the people lost favor in the eyes of the general public. But look at how Mensa Bonsu blames the defeat on economic downturn and challenges. Let us be honest. Are you telling me that your government is just in there to welcome only good times? Any government that is only a government of good times is a pilot who only knows autopilot. Can I say it again? Any government who only knows good times, my brother, is like a pilot who only knows autopilot. Do you understand what autopilot is? When the plane is allowed to run on its own, that is an autopilot. So when turbulences come, there is no pilot. The pilot knows nothing about turbulences. You are not a good pilot. You are a joke. You are an AI pilot. That was Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo was an AI president. Artificial intelligence president. He knew nothing about turbulences. He was an autopilot. He knew nothing about the economy. That is what Chairman Sabonsu is saying. My brother, it's like a mechanic who only knows how to replace with new parts. That is not a true mechanic. A mechanic should be able to fix bad things, repair them, and make them work again. That's a true mechanic. Who cannot replace? Everybody knows how to replace. But not everybody knows how to repair. Think about it. My brother, my sister, the economy went bad. So it tested your governance capability. How were you going to be able to turn it around? How did Nkrumah turn the economy around when the Cold War came? How did he do it? How did Mugabe turn his economy around when he had all those sanctions flying in his face and slapping his cringing brows? Were we the only country that faced financial and economic problems? So many other countries did. How did they steer themselves clear of the turbulences? But Chairman Sabonsu here, former majority whatever in parliament, he's telling us, we knew we were going to lose because of the economic problems we had. And so what? What did you do to deal with the problems? So you see, in Africa, in Ghana, governance is all about borrowing to fix and not fixing the economy within the country. No. We are always looking for external solutions. As for internal solutions, we don't have the common sense to deal with that. It's clear. Every time we have a problem, we are not thinking about how we can solve that within our own country. We are looking how the IMF can come in, the World Bank can come in, how donor agencies and organizations can come in. We are looking for aid because we are weak like carbonic acid. What kind of a president is this that cannot steer the plane off the turbulences as a properly trained pilot? He only knows autopilot. Nana Addo was miserably an autopilot president. An autopilot president who had an autopilot mate and who also wanted to be president. He would have been double of an autopilot. Those who understand would understand, and those who don't, muamu jejereje. Well, there are two things I want to deal with, but my producer says we should deal with just one because time is running out. Okay, no problem. Now I'm reading this from my Joy Online, and it says, there won't be political interference and instructions to print more money. Oh, Mahama. This Mahama talking. My brother, every day I grow with respect for this president. It looks like the president has a camera on me and my activities and my prayers, even in my closet. Everything I'm thinking for the nation, this president reiterates that. And that's President Mahama. Whatever angel brought him back from oblivion, whatever angel brought this man called Mahama back from his hermit life of the hidden cave, that angel is deserving of applause and respect. My prayer is that this should not be a charade. Let's read the content. President John Dramani Mahama has assured of his commitment to ensuring that the Bank of Ghana remains independent and free from political interference. Now, he emphasized that under no circumstances would he instruct the central bank to print more money. Speaking at the swearing-in of the newly appointed governor of the Bank of Ghana, alongside the first deputy governor, Dr. Johnson Pandit Esiama, and Zachariah Mumuni, President Mahama voiced his concerns about the Akufo-Addo administration's approach to the banking sector cleanup. He criticized the reforms as overly narrow in focus, failing to account for the human impact of such decisions. A dip in confidence indices may signal businesses on the brink, evolving market conditions, or changing household prospects, he remarked. But behind these numbers are real human stories and dreams, either nurtured or shattered, requiring not just analytical expertise, but also empathy and foresight, recognizing the profound consequences of every decision. Oh, Jesus. My brother, my sister, the previous government printed money as if they were going to share the money like Pekpele at the Homo War. That was still not enough. They ran after the IMF and the World Bank, cap in hand. Yet, the borrowers were busily making money at Data Bank. Yet, the borrowers were flying super first class chartered flights and bathing in the air. Yet the borrowers who were running after bicycle riders and marijuana legalizers were themselves driving in V8s whose air conditioners were allowed on 24 hours. My brother, my sister, they brought in a sick member of parliament in an ambulance, air-conditioned ambulance, awaiting in front of the Parliament House just to vote for a certain demonic e-levy. Fire burn these people. Wicked people. Satan is waiting for all of them in hell. Some of them have started visiting hell. Say John and all his people, they are all in hell. One after the other, they are in hell. Satan cannot wait for the rest of these traitors. How can you go and borrow money from bicycle riders when you are flying first class in the air, chartered flights, and taking your shower? You are crying that you even want more foot room so you can extend your long dwarfish legs. Hallelujah. And I'm speaking ironically. It's sad. Who created us? Today, we all know that they printed a lot of banknotes. They denied that. But my brother, there's an African saying that I love, that it is not about stealing the drum, but where you will play that village drum. Some people won't understand. I'm saying stealing the village drum is not the problem. but where to play it. You go and steal the village drum. Are you going to beat it in your room? Or you go into the bush and beat it? Who would listen to it? Is it not human beings? Will they not trace the sound to you? How can you print money and deny you didn't print it as if you were going to spend the money in space? You must be crazy. My brother, my sister, Mahama says he will not ask them to print any money. He's not saying they won't print money, but he's saying he will not order them to print money like it was done in that government. If any money is printed, then it is the sole prerogative of the central bank. My brother, my sister, years back, I had a dream that there was a new currency printed by Mahama. But that year that I had the dream, Mahama did not become the president. So I decided not to think about the new currency anymore. But today, we have had new currencies in succession. 100 cedi note, 200 cedi note, and so on and so forth. Mahama says that he is not going to infiltrate politically into the affairs of the central bank. Whatever decision they take is unto them, so that he can also decide whether to fire them or to continue to hire them. It's all about fire and hire. Mr. President, why did it take you so long to be this revolutionary? Why did it take you so long to be this radical? But the solace is in the fact that late than never. I personally love you. I am your biggest fan. And I am telling you, Mr. President, if you continue in this state, Mr. President, statues await you whilst you are alive. Everywhere you go, people will throw flowers at you to the point that you would sleep on beds of flowers, beds of roses. That is what every man should aspire for. Need I say any more? To God be the glory.
Yeah,